Can you imagine leaving everything to go follow and learn from a street preacher? I want you to know that for us, that would be strange today. And even at the time of Jesus and John and Andrew, Simon Peter, it was still weird then. It was not a thing most people did. Leave everything behind. There's a comedian that talks about, you want to notice the difference between being an adult and being a child? Think about how you used to run out of your parents' house as a child with not a care of the world into the woods. Now think about this little simple thought experiment. You put your cell phone, your wallet, your keys to your house, all on your mantle, please. And then walk out your front door, leave that door open and turn the corner. Watch the anxiety that comes up in your heart, right? Because when you were a child, you had nothing to lose and the whole world was open to you. Now you've got lots to lose and you're tied down to this space and this stuff. Simon Peter and his brother Andrew, they had a whole life. They owned their own fishing gear. They had a small business. It's not cheap what they left behind. James and John, they leave behind a slightly more affluent life, but one that's easier to come back to as well. Because presumably their dad did fine with the hired men after they left. And when they came back, if the whole Jesus thing fails, you just come back. Now, of course, Andrew already had a little bit of this in him, right? He went and followed John the Baptist. Monday through Friday he would he'd fish all morning, and then on Saturday and on Sunday he'd go hang out with John. I don't know what he did, but I presume he part-time followed John the Baptist. Otherwise, why was he in the boat? Unless when John the Baptist died, he said, well, I guess I was in that, and went back to fishing, right? Because Peter had never given it up. He had a place to fall back to. There had to be something in Jesus, right? Because I guarantee you, if I walk through the mall or Walmart or the airport in New Orleans and said, tomorrow is the apocalypse. It's here, right? That's the next big thing we're waiting for is the return of Jesus. Now, of course, Jesus said some things that prevent that from being a legitimate thing, but everybody would look at you weird, right? You just go, okay. Until eventually airport security came and removed you, or Walmart security came and removed you, or wherever you're at. And yet Jesus walks around, and this is the thing they were waiting for, right? The kingdom of God is at hand. The Messiah is going to come proclaiming the kingdom of God. And Jesus shows up, and the kingdom of God is at hand. And you got to imagine they were like, okay. The last three Messiah said that. We all know what the word is supposed to be. It didn't mean anything. And of course, we don't get the signs here, right? But in another gospel, we know that Jesus gets into Simon Peter's boat, has him go out into the deep water. And even though they've worked all night and caught nothing, they catch such a great catch of fish that their nets are tearing and their boats are sinking. If you watch The Chosen, it fills it with even that much more color because it has them returning from fishing on Saturday morning, meaning they violated the Sabbath. And Simon Peter's "Depart from me, Lord, I'm a sinful man" is that much more powerful. But there had to be something in Jesus that got them to leave their stuff behind and follow him. And that's not gone because Jesus is not here, right? There's a long history of good people, ordinary people, having a profound encounter with God and leaving everything behind. St. Francis, St. Benedict, St. Dominic, And those are just the ones we know about, right? Lots of people walked in their footsteps and followed them and encountered God and said, you know what? None of this stuff is worth it. They left it all behind. And whatever they found is still available to you and I. And maybe the life of leave everything behind and go follow me is not the life God has called you to. That's fine. But there is some part for you in God's plan. And that same stuff, they got Peter, James, and John, Andrew, Dominic, Francis, Benedict, leave everything behind, is still available to you in Jesus Christ. Now go talk to him. Please stand.